So welcome back. Today we are going to look at what we call the for loops. In the previous videos, we saw how to deal with the do while loop and the while loop themselves. But today we are going to look at the for loops. So in this example, you can see that we are dealing with our while loop and it's printing out hi 4 times. So when you compile this, you will see that hi is being printed out 4 times. But the issue with the while loop is that here in between, it only accepts the condition. What if I want to write all the declaration, the condition, and the increment in just one line? So there we introduce the for loops. So this will change to a keyword called for, and this I'll cut this, put it here inside, then terminate this, then increment. That's simply how a for loop works. A for loop accepts all the values in just one declaration like this. So you declare your variable, you put your condition, and you increment. That's simply a for loop. That's the difference it has with the while loop. Remember, let me take this back. Remember, take this back. This will be like 1. Remember, in the while loop here, if you try to initialize your values inside here where you have your condition and try to put these here, you will see that it won't accept. The while loop won't accept many arguments. The while loop only accepts only conditions. So if you have if you want to insert, or if you want to declare your values, you can use a for loop instead of a while loop. You can see that it is not accepting. So in this case, you use a for loop. Automatically, it will accept. So let me compile this and run, and we see. You can see that we have successfully printed out hi 5 times. But in this case, we are using the for loop. You declare your variable. In your variable, you put your condition. Then you increment. This increment is the one going to be incrementing your variable here, the one that you have initialized. When it reaches 4, remember this condition is your variable shouldn't be or shouldn't exceed 4. So after incrementing, you'll see that it will increment 1, 2, 3, 4. So it will stop on 4 because you are saying I should be less than 4. So that's the for loop. We can take another example. What if you want to reduce? Let me say you want to start from, instead of starting from 1, you say start from 4, 3, 2, 1. What will you do? Here you will just use the decrement sign or the decrement symbols, which is a minus, minus, minus. But remember, in this case, you want to start from 4, 3, 2, then 1, meaning this will start at 1. But remember, this is not less than, it should be greater than 1, greater or equal to 1. Then you declare your variable as 4. So in this case, you are setting your variable to be as 4. So you want to begin from 4 going to 1. In this case, this decrement sign or this decrement is going to be decrementing your 4, meaning you are going to be having something like 4, 3, 2, 1. But remember, it shouldn't go less than 1 like that. So when you compile and run, you will see that we are getting 4, 3, 2, then 1, simply because we have decremented and our condition is saying you shouldn't go below 1 and we are starting from 4. So that's how you can decrement. So my question is, what is the format of the for loop? What is being executed first? I'll give you some seconds to give me the answer. In this case, what is being executed first? In these values that we are having, what is being executed first? So I'll help you answer the question. So what is being executed first? The line being executed first is this for loop here up. It is first declaring our variable. After declaring our variable, it is coming and checking the condition, but thereafter, this one, the decrement and the increment, is the one which runs later after this one. So after checking this condition and our initialization, this will run second, and lastly, the decrement and the increment will be the last to be executed. Meaning here we shall be having like 4, then we check the condition. Then after checking the condition, we print out this. Later, we start decrementing or incrementing. So that's the format the how the for loop is being executed. So we can get another example. What if I want to print out days? Yeah, what if I want to print out days? Then I assign some working hours to the days. Yeah, like let me say I'm having like day 1, day 2 to day 5. Remember we work from Monday to Friday. Then I assign some hours to those days using the for loop. So what will I do? Yeah, let us take that example. So I can remove this. So you will come here and say we want 4 days, remember. So I will say 4 using our for loop. So I will initialize how many days do we want. So integer I, we initialize our variable is equal to, we are starting from day 1, and then our condition should be our variable should not exceed, should be less or equal to 5. Then we are incrementing our variable in this case. So here I'm printing out system.out.print day. So this is a string day. Then and say plus day. Then I print out my variable. This one is going to be changing because of our condition. So let me try to print out this and we see if I am successful. Yeah, you can see that we are printing out day 1, day 2, day 3, 4, and 5. But I want to give here some space. So I'll do something like this. Yeah, I'll do something like this. Let me compile again. So you're having day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, and day 5. And what if I want to, so the next thing is giving or assigning our hours to our days. So meaning here, we have what we call the nested loops. Meaning here, after giving out the day, I can do something like this. I want to assign hours. I can do something like this. I can use 24 hours. Yeah, let us use 24 hours, like from 7 to 17, 17 being 5, representing 5. So I will say, I'll use another for loop. I'll say 4, but remember, I'm inside this for loop that we did, meaning, let me explain this in a minute. Let's remove this. Meaning, if the day 1 finishes, remember we are inside. The next line here is going to be printed out. Someone can say I can do something like this. I can do something like this. I can do like 7 a.m. to uh, to like 8 a.m. Then I can duplicate this. This becomes like 8 to 9, like this. You can do something like this, but you can see that this is very hectic. How are you going to finish all the days? When you compile this and run, you will see that this is working really well. This is working really well, but how are you going to finish these hours? Yeah, here I will just use the nested for loop. Yeah, instead of writing them manual, I can just use my for loop and everything will work. Yeah, instead of writing them one by one, we can use the nested for loop. You can see that inside the for loop, after running our day, it is running other important stuff that you have inserted here inside. Meaning here it is very possible for me to write another loop inside a loop. Yeah, we call that the nested for loop, or we call that nesting things. So I'll come here, I'll say for our for loop. Being that I have already used the I variable, I'll try using another one. I use like hours. Yeah, I use like hours is equal to, we are starting at 7, remember? Then I initialize our variable. Then I'll say hours should be lesser or equal to, remember we are stopping at 5. In 24 hours, that's 17. Yeah, so we want to increment our hours by 1, something like this. So I'll open this. So let me print out something. I'm printing out our first print out our hours, and we see. I'll first print out our hours, and we see these ones. I'm printing out our hours to see that is everything working really well. So I'll compile this, then run. So you will see that we have successfully printed out a day 1 having 7, 8, 9, 10 to 17, meaning we are starting from 7 to 17. Yeah, this is a success. But what if I want to print using range? Yeah, like 7 to 8, 9 to 10. Let me say you want to do some activities from 7 to 8, you want to achieve something. From 9 to 10, you want to achieve something. From 12 to 13, which is from 12 to 13, which is from your afternoon to your lunch time. You want to be having lunch. You want to assign some activities to your what? Your schedule. So what will I do? So I'll come. I already know that this is printing out my hours successful. But to get the next hour, I can simply add. Yeah, I can add by 1. This is what I'm telling you. Instead, I can say this with the space. This, remember, this is our addition. This hours plus 1. Yeah, I can do something like this. Let me first reduce this and you see it very well. Hours, I'm adding hours and I'm adding it 1, meaning this will first print out the 7, 8, 9, 10. But in the same hours, I'm adding 1, meaning this will be like 7, this 7, 7 to 8. 7 to 8. 8 will change and they will increase it by 1, meaning this will be like 9, like that. So let me compare this and you see. There's something interesting I want to show you. So after compiling, you see that we are having some issues. We are getting 7, and instead of adding it, it is concatenating it. Yeah, you see that it is concatenating 1 instead of adding it to the hours. Here we are having like 71, 81, 91, 100, 01. Instead of adding it, it is just concatenating. It is concatenating because we are having the plus. When you use the plus simply concatenates a string and an integer. Instead of adding it, it just concatenates the values, meaning everything here is being concatenated by the plus symbols. So what will I do? I'll just come here. What I can do, I can just come and separate this using the 2 brackets like this. I use the 2 brackets, our brackets, simply this by separating, saying this, you concatenate others, but this instead, this is just an addition sign. Here we are adding instead of concatenating. So let me compare this and compile, then run. Yeah, you will see that we have successfully added. Yeah, we have successfully added our what? our numbers. You can see that 7, then from 7 to 8, we are adding 1. This one, we are adding 1 from 8, and the next number we are adding 1, which will become like 9, 10, 11. So we have let me give here some space down. So instead, I'll come here inside and I say system print in a new line and I leave it empty. So let me compile this and see. Compile it and run. Yeah, we have successfully given out some space here. So you see that day one can be like Monday. We are beginning our work from 7 to 8. You can give here some activity. From 7 to 8, I'm doing this. From 8 to 9, I'm doing this. From like that. You can see that all our days are we have successfully given them our hours like that. So that's how you can deal with the for loop and the nested loops. So just to explain this a little bit, after assigning our hours, remember we are going to start from 7, we should tell our for loop. The next thing that we write is our condition. Our condition is simply saying that you shouldn't exceed what? Shouldn't exceed 17. So, and the next thing is we are incrementing the hours. We are going to be incrementing by 1, meaning this will be 8, 7, 8, 9, 10, but it shouldn't go over the 17-hour clock. So then down here we print out. So each and every time our loop is going to run, it's going to print out this statement. But in this statement that we wanted, after printing out the hours, remember the hours are going to be incrementing like 7, 8, 9 to 17. But we want to add 1 hour, like we want to add 1 in this case, making it from 7 to 8, 8 to 9, like that. That's what we did in this case. But remember, it's inside our for loops. It's inside our loop, the first loop that we did, which the first loop was just printing out the days, only the number of days. So that's the for loop, and that's how you can use the nested for loops. So thank you guys.